Well, would you look at that? We just got some breaking news from Deadline reporting that Sean Gunn is set to play Maxwell Lord in James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC universe. Why did I just say DC? DC universe. But anyway, yeah, so this is pretty big news. We didn't know that they were working on casting the character Maxwell Lord. We didn't know that Maxwell Lord was going to be involved in this universe at all, but now not only do we know that for a fact, but we know that Sean Gunn is playing the character. And, I've been one of the people that has kind of defended James Gunn. James Gunn has gotten a lot of hate for casting his friends and family members, for casting Sean Gunn and everything, for casting his wife Jennifer Holland and everything, for casting his friends and everything. He gets a lot of hate for that. And I've always been a defender for him on that because, if the actors are good and they fit the role, great. That's perfect. That works. And on top of that, really, can you blame him? Like, he's a director that has to work with a lot of actors. Why would you not want, if you're in that position, why would you not want to work with people that you like? And also, family members, give your family members a job. If that's something you can do, I can see why he would want to do that. And Sean Gunn is a really great actor. He was perfect as Kraglin in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was so great over there. And, as much as I love Sean Gunn, though, I am kind of starting to see the other perspective here and be like, really? Because, I don't know. Just Sean Gunn as Maxwell Lord, I don't really see it. I don't really see it as a casting that will work. But of course, I'm going to hold out full judgment until I actually see him in the role. For all I know, he could be great. He could be fantastic. Sean Gunn's a good actor, so I totally have faith that he could pull it off. But this is something that feels like, nepotism right here. Like, oh, because he's related to James Gunn, he got cast in this role. But I don't know. It's interesting, I suppose. Especially when you look at the fact that Sean Gunn's already in this DCU. He's going to be voicing Weasel in Creature Commandos. On top of that, also G.I. Robot in this series as well. So he's already got two characters in the DCU that he will be playing. And now, it's up to three, which is kind of a lot. And Maxwell Lord specifically, we obviously saw previously in the DCEU, played by Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman 1984, which, terrible movie. Terrible movie, but that was a good character. I enjoyed the character, and of course, Pedro Pascal is awesome. Now, going from Pedro Pascal to Sean Gunn, I kind of got to agree with My Time to Shine Hello here, but obviously, at least I'm willing to assume that James Gunn is doing a different take on the character. He even says that, this isn't going to be a villain version of the character. But I'm just really intrigued about this, especially with a character like Maxwell Lord. What type of role is he going to take on here? Because, he is seen mostly as a villain in the comics. He's a, uptight, cocky businessman, so of course he is, and that's how he's presented in Wonder Woman 1984, but he is also sometimes seen as not necessarily a hero, but kind of I guess a good guy. We know James Gunn has a huge love for the Justice League International comic storyline, and that he's taken a lot of inspiration from that for the DCU, and Maxwell Lord has a huge role in that storyline with Justice League International, and he's actually the face of Justice League International. I haven't read it myself, but just from reading a little bit about it online, it sounds like he's kind of like their spokesperson. So that's definitely really interesting. And you can see even here, this is James Gunn's reaction, because the Deadline article said Sean Gunn cast as villain Maxwell Lord, but James Gunn here specifies, call Max a villain is a bit reductionist as far as I'm concerned. What do you say, Jim Mattis, however you pronounce that? That is a writer of a comic that did some Maxwell Lord. And if you just look at this comic panel right here, you can see what's going on. We got this conversation with Booster Gold, and he doesn't seem like a bad guy. He definitely does not, for sure. He's probably got some not great ways of going about doing things. I mean, he says right here, you'll see that the ends justify the means, that, and then she's like, oh, who the hell do you think you are? Why, Maxwell Lord, of course. Who do you think you are? So, like, he's kind of a douchey, again, cocky guy, but not necessarily a full-on villain. So I think it's interesting that this is the approach they're going to be taking for the character. The interesting thing about this article, though, is when I first saw the headline, I assumed, like, oh, he was cast as Maxwell Lord in Superman Legacy, because in the comics, he does have a pretty big relation to Superman. So, oh, is he going to be in that film? And he could be, but we don't know for sure, because the Deadline article specifically says that they don't know what project he's going to appear in, just that he's cast for the universe, and supposedly the character will be mentioned in the background of Superman Legacy, but may not actually appear. He's going to be a character that will be set up in there, like many characters will appear or be set up in Superman Legacy, and then spin off into appearing in other projects. So that's what's going to happen with Maxwell Lord. He's going to be set up for a larger role down the line. He's going to be popping up in multiple projects. Again, I'm assuming for this Justice League International type storyline. And so the question is, where will Maxwell Lord first officially pop up? And just given this comic panel, I'm going to guess Booster Gold. I mean, it makes sense, even if it was just a cameo at the end of the series, because we don't know for sure, but I'm assuming Booster Gold is probably going to be a time travel series. That's kind of his whole thing. Maybe at the end when he gets to the present and he meets up with the Justice League, we are introduced to Maxwell Lord there. That could be our kind of first stepping stone to building to a Justice League project with Maxwell Lord as the face of that team. I think that could be cool. Superman Legacy, again, an obvious option. Supposedly he's going to be seen or mentioned in the background, but will he actually appear? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But another one I could totally see is Waller, just because Waller, is going to be more of a political kind of government type show. So it just makes sense that a business guy like Maxwell Lord would kind of fit in with the vibe of this series. So there's that. But again, I have mixed feelings on this casting. Again, I'm willing to wait and judge his performance when we actually see it, but just right off the bat, it's a little concerning, and it's not the best casting choice, I would say. But again, I will wait and see. But a lot of people are pretty unhappy about this. This is the first casting that James Gunn has made for the DCU that I've been like, I don't know about that. Every single other one has been like pitch perfect, like chef's kiss. But yeah, so anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this official breaking news from Deadline that Sean Gunn has been cast in the DCU as technically his third character? He will be playing Maxwell Lord, and what projects do you think he will pop up in? So guys, thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.